1980 began with political and social unrest in the UK. There was a steel workers' strike and riots in Bristol. Wales against England at Twickenham was marred by Paul Ringer's sending off.
A late tackle, and it looks as if Ringer may well be going to be ordered off.
Newport County won promotion and the Welsh Cup. And at Wrexham, Wales beat England 4-1.
Mickey Thomas. Well, they were watching Walsh, but they didn't mark him.
Colin Jones, a gravedigger from Gorsinan, had lofty ambitions to beat the best. A talented amateur boxer, Jones was already well known within Wales.
People always look back at my amateur career and they always look at the Olympics and the senior ABAs, but it goes back actually a bit further than that. It all started when I started boxing when I was 9 years of age in the Penrose Boxing Club here, and I had my first fight at 11. I went on to win 4 or 5 schoolboy titles, 3 British schoolboy titles, and also went on to win the juniors and then on to the ABAs. So really speaking, the early days of my amateur career I'm just as proud of. I went to the Olympic Games in 1976 and I stayed on then till 77, did the European Games out in Germany. It was very difficult to get matches. Gareth Bevan decided that if I was going to get any amateur fights, then obviously it was time to turn professional, and that's where the great Eddie Thomas came on the scene. When you look at his track record with Howard Winson and Ken Buchanan, who were both great world champions, not just world champions, they were great world champions. And I thought, well, I'm in good hands. I had a lot of faith in my trainer, Gareth Bevan, who would coach me since I was the age of 9. And we decided to stay as a team right away through to the end, really. Everybody gets a couple of easy fights to start off with, and it was only a couple with Eddie. There was no long honeymoon period, 2 or 3 victories, and then Eddie was moving it up. So my professional career then started to progress far more quickly, I think, than what people expected it to.
Eddie Thomas was confident he had another major talent on his hands.
In my opinion, and everybody else's opinion, Winston and Buchanan are the 2 best champions we've had. And without doubt they are, although I say it. They are the best we've had, world champions in years. And at this particular stage, I think Colin Jones is by far a better fighter than both those 2.
Kirkland Laing of England was British welterweight champion, but all in Wales felt Jones could win the title.
I think it was April Fool's Day anyway that I was to box Kirkland Laing, and yes, it's just still a baby really in today's terms. But again, if you were good enough to get there, then you were good enough to fight for it. Eddie took me up to Albert Hall just to have a little glance at Kirkland Laing and see what he was made of, his style. And we thought that, yes, he would suit us, but I think he turned out to be more of a handful than I'd anticipated.
Oh, that's it. He put them together there, 1, 2, 3, and over goes Riney, the champion, for the first time in this fight.
Thomas wanted to keep Jones fighting in Wales, away from Mickey Duff and the major promoters in London.
Mickey wanted his own way, and he wanted all the Welsh boys to go up to London as fodder. And Eddie Thomas, to be honest, wasn't willing for that to happen to myself, especially early on in my career. So I did quite a number of fights in Aberafan and around Wales. So I didn't have to go to box in London on Mickey Duff's terms. But unfortunately, they won the purse offers for the Kirkland Laing welterweight title fight, and to London I had to go.
This welterweight championship, sponsored by White and Mackay, has the makings of the classic fight. The boxer against the puncher. The boxer, the reigning champion Kirkland Laing, dark-skinned, Jamaican-born, from Nottingham, And the puncher, and he really can punch, is the Welshman Colin Jones, who's brought with him massive support tonight. And it sounds to me as though there are far more Welsh supporters in this Wembley Conference Centre than there are supporters for Laing. But it really does have the makings of a superb fight. The Welshman has got a big punch, and if he should land a good one, anything could happen. But Laing has landed the better punch in that little exchange. And a left hook knocked the Welshman back on his heels. Round 3. Very one-sided at the moment. Both these men are former ABA champions, in other words, national amateur champions. In fact, Colin Jones twice won an ABA title. He's got his man with the right hand again, and that's precisely the punch Jones needs. And you can see in him the confidence beginning to well up as he catches Laing with those rights. So Colin Jones, the challenger from Wales, once again is in the position where he needs to come forward and throw a few punches and try to shake the champion out of this steady routine of moving back, poking out good lefts and rights. He's that much faster a puncher, Laing, and he makes him tell right into the head of Jones. The Welsh trying to rally their man, but he's got problems that they can't solve for him. Sheer strength of this Welsh challenger occasionally threatens to overwhelm Laing. But Laing grits his teeth, swallows the blood that's coming from those lips, and goes back to work, jabbing. Might be a question of willpower in the end between these two. It's almost Muhammad Ali exhibition stuff. And he's got it. Oh, he finally found it. Oh. Round 9. He waited all that time and finally caught up with him just when Laing was doing his flashiest stuff. And Lang's going and it's stopped. That is one of the most astonishing wings you'll ever see. Laing out on his feet. The fight stopped in the 9th. Colin Jones of Wales, in his 14th professional fight, only just turned 21, has brought off one of the most sensational wins we've seen for years in this country. He waited and waited and waited. He fell behind a mile on points, and eventually the explosive punching caught up with Laing, and Colin Jones is our new British welterweight champion. And there haven't been many more remarkable stories than that.
It was a feeling I don't think that I'd ever experienced before or ever after. That first notch on the Alonso belt was something special, and having to go to the big city to do it. It was such a big event, and being such a big underdog going there, the pale-faced kid, as he used to call me when I used to go to London to fight, to pull off probably one of the biggest shocks in boxing, because there's no doubt about it, they were billing Kirkland for big honours, you know, world title honours.